from Brain Swell Media and 360 Ad Sales Training and Strategy. And once again, welcome back to one of the booster training sessions here from Shweiki Media. Boy, have I enjoyed this partnership going on, almost 3 years of working with Shweiki Media. And, it's really proof positive that you can create some synergistic partnerships. And all of you as publishers should consider this as well, looking each year for synergistic partnerships that will benefit your business. And that's one of the great things I have to say about Shweiki. Great partners in everything that we do. Hey, today we're going to talk about apps. And we're going to talk about apps in terms of apps that might appear on your iPhone or on your Android device, apps that might appear on an iPad, Kindle, Nook. And we're going to talk through a question I get all of the time, and that is people will call and say, Ryan, I really think I need to be doing something. Maybe I need an app. And, I caution people right from the get-go when we start talking about apps. I caution people and say, the first question I ask is, why? Okay, why? Why do you need an app, or why do you think that you need an app? And so I think it's a very valid question, and that's where we're going to start today. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points that we're going to work through today, and I want you to take some notes. I'm going to share my screen with you here, and we're going to work through scenarios. So the question might be to app or not to app, okay? That is the question. All right, so the first question to ask is why? Why an app? And I really mean that because a lot of people, they just think that they need to do something. They don't spend any time looking into the why. So there's a lot of reasons why you might consider an app, and a lot of reasons why you might not consider an app. So let's work through what I do. A lot of times I do strategic planning for companies. And what we do is we use the acronym SWOT, S-W-O-T, as we work through a strategic plan. And SWOT, S-W-O-T, stands for strengths, so that's S. Weaknesses, that's your W. O, okay, as an Oscar, is opportunities, and T is threats, things that might impact you in a negative way. So if you talk about apps, let's work through that SWOT acronym, okay? Now let's talk about the S, the strengths. Not only the strengths of an app, but the strengths of your business as a whole. What are some of the things that you do better than anybody else? Now, what you see on your screen right now is you've got the App Store, okay? So this is iTunes on my Mac. You can get it on your PC as well. And what I've done is I've gone to the iTunes Store. And then at the top, what I've done is I've chosen the icon here for App Store. What I did is I actually went in and what I did is I searched at the top here in the top right, okay? I searched for the word magazines. Now, is that what everyone's going to do? Is that what a user is going to do? Not necessarily. But I wanted you to see, in terms of a strengths perspective, I really wanted you to get intimate and understand how many apps out there in terms of when you search for a magazine that there are. Everything from Time to Pokemon to People to kids magazines to C magazines, anything and everything you can potentially think of when it comes to magazines can be found in the App Store. Now, you notice you've got iPad apps, and then you've got iPhone apps. So there you go. Another question. Do I do an app for the iPhone, for the iPad, for the Android? And we're going to talk through that here in just a minute. First of all, what we want to do, though, let's go ahead and go just to a big dog name like Sports Illustrated. Let's click on that icon, and let's see what it is that they're showing that they have available. Now, one of the things that you may consider as you scroll through and look, these are the freeze frames, stills, if you will, from the app itself. One of the things that screams out to me immediately is this: different about this app than the magazine itself. When you question, why? What is something from a strengths perspective that you do better than anybody else? No matter if you're a city and regional magazine, if you're a national play, if you're a B2B, what's something that you have, okay, content that you have that's unique to only you? Look at the Sports Illustrated app, and while I don't have it downloaded, on my screen, as I look through the screenshots, one of the things I notice is that it basically looks to me like the Sports Illustrated for Kids, app basically is going to allow me to read the magazine on my iPad or my iPhone. Okay. Conversely to that, if we actually go back here and let me go ahead and scroll down a little bit, let me pull, for example, the People Magazine app. We click on People Magazine. what you're going to notice right away is that people automatically shows you right away. If you look at this screenshot here, it shows you that they're going to offer you all kinds of extra active options, okay? So you'll notice right here that you're going to see additional pictures, okay? You're going to see videos. Scroll through, you're going to see all kinds of added audio in terms of the music section. When you look over here at the chatter section, you're going to see all kinds of extra items. Now, when you think about an app or you think about a digital magazine or a digital edition, what you want to do there are two things to think about. On your app, if you decide to do one after we walk through this, what can you do that is so much better than everything else? Because you remember, when it comes to the world of apps, who's your biggest competitor? Is it another magazine? Typically, no. Your biggest competitor are those two guys in a garage that spend all day sitting at their computers in the dark, like a mushroom, okay? In the dark, growing in the dark. And those are the people that are going to leap out from behind the bushes. Not only are they going to scare you, they're potentially going to mug you, and they're going to take over, okay? And if you don't think it's going to happen, I encourage you to read a little bit more online, whether it's Mashable or the kid that did the Simplify app, the free app that from London. These are people that are making millions of dollars. So as you think about it, what are the things that you have? What are the strengths you have as a magazine that you can put into an app that will set you apart or will ultimately enhance your magazine content to make you better than everybody else in the marketplace? And you can see here on People Magazine, clearly what they're going to do is they're presenting in their app their magazine steroids. I mean, really, what is a digital edition? A digital edition, quite honestly, should be a magazine on steroids. It really is your opportunity to take your magazine to the next level. Remember something, I truly don't believe that magazines are dead. The way that you read your magazine, the way you consume this media might potentially change, but apps are an excellent complement to the printed magazine. Let's not forget, the tactile experience that comes from reading a magazine is second to none. So what you really want to do is you want to consider right up front, what is it that we're going to do, okay, to make our magazine stand out from the rest? What are we going to do in terms of an app to make the magazine experience so much better, okay? So what I want to first consider for you to do is consider writing down and creating a list of the things that you do better than your competition. Ask yourself, what is it that we can do inside of our app to make the magazine experience just grow exponentially for our users? Here, look at National Geographic. Clearly, what their app is showing is that you're not just going to read the magazine. Clearly, what it is that you're seeing is that you're going to see better video. You're going to see more photos. You're going to hear expanded audio. And you can do all of this without spending a ton of money, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But you have to ask yourself, what are the areas of strength that we can bring to the table? Don't just do an app to do an app. Do an app because you can leverage your digital assets or leverage your content to make your magazine even better, to enhance the reader experience. So we want to look at your strengths, okay? Now use the acronym SWOT, S-W-O-T. Now look at your weaknesses. Where are the areas that potentially in print potentially are weak? An app can make you stronger. Just as an example, let's just say that within a particular magazine, your classified revenue, for as an example, has dropped, just as an example. Okay, your classified revenue has dropped. What is it that you can do, okay, your advertising revenue has dropped. What can an app do to help bring new or fresh ideas to the table so that an advertiser might potentially get excited and want to come back and run with you? Now, just as an example, do you have the ability, for example, to add interactive games? The ability to add surveys. Here's Ranger Rick magazine, a kid's magazine, and obviously there's a nice tie-in with games and things like that. What Ranger Rick has done with their app is they have taken a magazine that potentially could have just gone completely away, in all honesty, and what they've done is they've made an app that is quite honestly one of the nicest that's available on the internet. I would really encourage you to download it for free and see all the wonderful things that they do in order to engage kids in a learning and reading experience. Now, maybe games isn't necessarily the thing for you. Are you able to add interviews? Are you able to add finders? Are you able to add something to the experience where maybe in the printed word you might be a little bit weak, but by using an app, it allows you to potentially expand the audience from a weakness perspective? What can you do to go after the weaknesses of others, your competitors? Now you want to look, do they have an app? What are they doing with an app? And then also what you may consider doing is looking at the industry as a whole, okay? Your industry as a whole. Let me give you an example. There's a company I work with in Los Angeles called Creative Age. And Creative Age Publications is one of the largest and most vibrant communicators and B2B publishers in the beauty business. And they have a magazine that's called Nail Pro. And Nail Pro is a magazine that is all for the people that are actually nail technicians that actually do your nails in a nail salon. Now, what I did is I typed in Nail Pro in the search box here in the upper right-hand corner, okay, of the screen to see what's happening out there, what is actually available in that space. Okay, now I typed in Nail Pro. I could have just typed in nails or nail design. And as you scroll across, you're going to see all kinds of apps from various manufacturers. You're going to see all kinds of apps that are fun. You're going to see foot makeover, things, all kinds of things like that. Well, one of the things that Nail Pro did, and you can see them right here, is Nail Pro decided, hey, we know that our audience, one of the areas where we potentially, okay, I'm not saying they're weak, where they potentially were weak, if a nail technician is working in a salon, do they actually want to have, okay, a magazine right there in front of them, or based on surveys, do we know that they access their magazine, Nail Pro, on a mobile device, an iPad or a phone? One of the things where they potentially saw, a slight weakness is that if they were on a mobile device, the likelihood of one of their readers, a nail technician, of reading the magazine would grow exponentially. So what they did is they chose a provider. In this case, I believe the provider is Nextbook. They chose that provider, and what that provider did was able to create for them fairly easily an app that allowed the technician to not only read the magazine on their iPhone, but also you can see right here, they're able to enhance the content with videos as well, and nail galleries and things like that. So this acronym, SWOT, okay, they identified what are their strengths. So from Nail Pro's perspective, what is one of their strengths? One of their strengths is they are a leader in this business. They have more how-to information in their magazine than anybody else in the industry. We saw perhaps, and we didn't talk about this, so I want to be real clear, so I'm kind of just using this as an example. One of the weaknesses that potentially they saw is that nail technicians would potentially read more if the magazine was available on their phone. And so they created an app for that. Now, I can share with you, without giving you any numbers, this has been a tremendous success. Their readers have really embraced this, and they have literally thousands of people reading Nail Pro on their iPhones, Androids, iPads, etc. So what you're going to do, as you're identifying weaknesses and strengths, is you may want to go over to the App Store, and in the upper right-hand corner, let's say that you're, in the business, of just, for example, oil and gas, just as an example. You might want to type in oil, gas, and click search, and just see, okay, what apps are out there? What are other people doing? Because there's really no reason to create something that's going to have. So you'll notice here, oil and gas journal. Okay, now I've not gone here in advance of our workshop today, so we just kind of go and check it out and see what they're doing. So I'm going to imagine that with this app, you're able to read the magazine, but we're able to scroll back through, and we're able to very quickly, easily, and see, okay, what is it that other people within our sector? So I think this is one thing that I would really encourage you to consider. Wow, look at this. There's a lot of magazines. What I'd consider for you to do is go into the App Store and do a little bit of research, okay? Now, just looking at Oil and Gas Financial Journal, okay, and they're from Penwell, you can notice that you can see the screenshots that are available. What does their app potentially look like? It's here that they've got a little button at the bottom that says latest news, and it's able to go and pull the latest news into this app. You notice here they've got most viewed, so it's going to show you the news that's most viewed. And it looks here that they've got financial stock market information as well. Now, I don't know exactly how this particular app was created. What I'm going to show you now is how you potentially can create something similar to this absolutely free. Okay, absolutely free. So what I'm going to do now is I'm taking you over to a website, and this particular site is one that I've used before, and the website is called The App Builder. So it's theappbuilder.com. What I decided I needed to do is I wanted to have an app, okay? Now, this is not going to be available in the App Store, okay? I'm going to need to share this link with people so they can actually download my app and watch videos. I determined in talking with my users that they wanted to see the weekly videos, the ad sales training videos that I put out. So what I did is I went over to theappbuilder.com. Now, what builder.com allows me to do is it allows me to create an app, and you'll notice that as I'm working on it, I'm able to see it right here, okay, on my screen. And what I did is I decided, you know what, I want to have videos, and I have a blog, and I want people to be able to contact me, okay? And I'm able to do all of this on the App Builder for free. Now, what does the App Builder charge me for this? It's nothing, but you'll notice right down here on the bottom, okay, there's a little button that says try it. What that does is it's basically is an advertisement for them. Now, in this scenario, the App Builder, I can pay them, I think, maybe $5 a month. I don't have to have that on there. But what I'm able to do, okay, as a project, a spring break project, okay, with my 14-year-old son, is in about 2 hours, we were able to create a free app, okay? Now, again, it's not in the App Store, all right, but it's a free app that people can download by going to a link I'll provide. I was able to put an RSS feed, okay, so that's really simple syndication. Any of you that have a content management system like Joomla, Drupal, WordPress, you're able to create from your articles an RSS feed, a really simple syndication feed. I was able to get an RSS feed of my videos from YouTube. Okay, so in the app, you're able to see all my videos, okay, from YouTube. Then I was also then able to create a section for my blog, my sales blog. And so I was able to create, so if someone wanted to read this article right here, like statistics or bust, I could click on that. I was able to create a little contact us tab, okay, where people can see my email address on the website. All right? Able to do all of this very, very simply and very easily, absolutely free of charge. So right here under Edit, I was able to go and choose, do I want to create a new section? I do. So I click New Section. Able to choose, okay, what type of section is it? Do I want a Twitter feed? Do I want apps? Do I want events, RSS? Do I want to bring up photos? Do I want people to be able to leave me feedback? Let's just say that I want to include my Facebook feed. Okay, I can just choose Facebook. I can use the icon, okay, from the section itself. And then here, what we're able to do is change the name of it. And what I'm also able to do then is very easily be able to put in my Facebook name into the app so it pulls it up, okay? So that's just an example of how you can actually build something fairly simple, like what they're doing here in Oil and Gas Financial Journal is they're pulling in this news. Now, why did I do that? Okay, why did I do that? I identified, okay, one of my strengths is that I'm one of the only people that does these ad sales videos. One of my weaknesses is I need a way to be able to get this out to the masses. The O, okay, in SWOT is opportunities. What's the opportunity? Well, what I did is I went to the App Store and I typed in ad sales. And you could do potentially the exact same thing for your industry doing a little bit of research. Now, what I noticed is there are a few people, but there's very few. You've got AdMall and a few people that are out there, but not very many. Now, the thing is, the app that I have that I presented to you over here on the App Builder, okay, it's free, and I have to provide a link if you want to download it, but also give you the ability to sign up for a developer account and actually also be able to publish to the App Store if I wanted to, okay? So the O is opportunities. Now, what else comes with those opportunities? Revenue opportunities. What are the revenue opportunities available out there for you to be able to potentially make money from your app? Okay, once again, let's go back over here and let's type in magazines so we can look at the magazines. Granted, there are more apps than what you find just in the App Store on iTunes. I'm using that today just as an example for simplicity's sake, okay? So going back over to People Magazine, The ability for you to be able to have in the app a full-page ad from an advertiser that contains a promotional video is very straightforward and fairly easy, okay? The ability for you to have a photo gallery, new product debuts, classified advertising, research, white papers, surveys, any of those kind of things are available through most apps that you can create. Now, are you going to create those apps in the app builder? No, probably not. You're probably going to find a developer, whether it's PageSuite or, you're going to find one of those companies that's going to build this for you. But you want to walk through the SWOT, the SWOT scenario, okay? You want to walk through that to find out, do I really want to do this? Does it make a lot of sense? So from a revenue perspective, what I want to do is I want to do this. I want to sell backwards. Okay, did you write that down? I want to sell backwards. So what does that actually mean? Selling backwards means I start with the advertiser, I start with the reader, and work my way backwards. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So what I want to do is I make sure that I'm going to start with the advertiser, start with the reader, and make sure that I do surveys and things like that to go from the backwards forward. So I'm going to go to an advertiser. I'm going to say, hey, listen, so we're in the hunting space. Let me type in hunting. Okay, I'll even show this to an advertiser. Type in hunting, okay? Now, I'm going to see if there's any magazines that are there. So I'm going to look for some opportunities. I'm going to leverage my strengths, okay? Now, looking down through here, I don't immediately see any magazines. Doesn't mean that they're not there. So right away, as I go down and start doing some research, I'm going to start with an advertiser and say, listen, there's nobody in the hunting space that really has the content that we have. We'd like to create an app, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. We'd love to have your videos, your tech tips, your how-tos, all to be a part of this app. Here the cost is going to be, say it's $10,000 a year or whatever it is. Love for you to be a part of this. I'm starting with the advertiser. See, a lot of times what many of you do, which is, in my opinion, a huge mistake, is you in a room. You say, okay, we're a hunting magazine. Everybody's an app. Why don't we have an app? Let's just build one, okay? And you don't start with the advertisers to see if they're interested. Instead, you spend $10,000, you build an app, then you go out and you try to sell it to the advertisers. Remember something. People are always more passionate about projects from the beginning to participate. People are always more passionate when they're to participate in a project. So I call it selling backwards. The other piece of that is actually going out and doing some surveys, okay? So some of you don't really know, okay, hey, great, a survey, that sounds great. Where is it that we go? Where do we kind of start? Now, what I do very often when I'm doing, different research is I'm going to go over to Google, all right? I'm going to type in survey software, okay? And pull it. A lot of you aren't going to do surveys because you really just, truly don't know how to do surveys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Google and Google, okay, survey software. And if you look over here on the right, some of the ones that you're going to find, for example, are SurveyMonkey, very easy, very affordable. You're going to find Sogo Survey. You're going to find eSurvey Maker, okay? So there's any number of companies that you find online that are going to allow you very quickly and at a very, very low price point to create surveys. What I want to do is, when I'm talking about an app, is I want to ask my readers, ask my users from day one. I want to say, listen, guys, I'm thinking of creating an app. What do you want that app to do? Okay? What do you want that app to do? Okay. So if you look over here, all right, clearly, if we go back over to oil and gas, okay, clearly I believe, oh, I spelled it wrong, that oil and gas, one of the things that these folks did, okay, from Penwell, one of the things that they did is they actually said to themselves, hey, do we want to repurpose the content in our magazine, okay, or do we want to create some really simple syndication feeds providing information that our readers actually want? See, very often, many of you, all you do is you find a vendor that will regurgitate the content of your magazine. What if that is not what the reader wants? Okay? An example, let's say that you're a magazine that targets a small town. why would you go and regurgitate the content into your app that anyone can read in the magazine when after asking your users what they really want is top 10 lists of restaurants and events? You would want an app then, okay, that includes information that is about top 10 and local events. And you might be able to do that as an RSS feed, okay? You might be able to do that as an RSS feed through your content management system of your website is what you're able to do. So you want to consider that, okay? Now, to wrap up the acronym, SWOT, okay, SWOT. The other thing you have to remember is looking through the T is who else is out there? What are they currently doing? Do we duplicate it? Can we do it better? Okay, what can we do? Can we potentially do it better than somebody else? All right? Okay, now, next, what we want to do is we really want to start considering, okay, so we found out what are our strengths in terms of content. We've gone to the App Store and we've done some research. Is anybody else out there doing what it is that we think that we're doing? Okay, now what are our weaknesses and how can an app help us leverage, okay, our content to be able to bridge the gap so we don't have these weaknesses? What opportunities from a revenue perspective? And what you may consider then is selling backwards. Start with the advertiser. Okay, the advertiser. Then the T is, okay, what are some threats out there? Are there people out there that are killing us in this space? You know, do we really need to do it? Okay, then you want to ask yourself, all right, so let's survey our users. Let's figure out what they actually want. Rather than go and just regurgitate content, let's figure out what they want. So use a company maybe like SurveyMonkey or eSurveyMaker to survey. Now, on the survey, okay, you don't need 1,300 responses. You don't need 5,000 responses. Remember, even Gallup, okay, when determining the presidential election, okay, they only need 1,400. Okay, so if you get back several hundred, it really gives you a leg up on the competition. Okay, really gives you a leg up. At least you're not going to be going out there spending a bunch of money on an app, and it's based on your gut. Then you go to the sales team, and they try to go sell it, and then it just doesn't work out. Okay, now, in creating the app, do you outsource it? Do you do something yourself? First of all, if you're looking to do something simple, okay, if you're looking to do something simple, you can Google free app software. There are out there probably, I'm going to guess, 15 to 20, okay, companies like the App Builder, all right, that allow you to be able to create an app fairly simply and very free. So, for example, here's how to create an app free. Over this is appsbar.com. You're able to very quickly and easily find software that's going to help you and walk you through the creation of a straightforward and simple app. Now, most of what you want for mass appeal is you want your app to be in the App Store. Guys, you don't have to do that, okay? So just as an example, when you're on your iPhone, okay, what you would type in, for example, is you would type in my app, okay, IS, and 60 ad sales, just as an example. And I will provide that link on the road to people, okay? And what it does is it actually pulls up the app on somebody's phone, whether it's a Droid, okay, or whether it's an iPhone or a BlackBerry, okay, and it walks them through how to install that app on their phone. So you don't have to be an app store. It's an app, okay, for your business, okay. And just as an example, it shows you on the screen what it is that the app potentially looks like, okay. So remember something: you don't have to be in the App Store to be a rating success. What you do is you provide a link, just like I did here, okay. This my.is/360 ad sales. You look that up on your phone through the web browser on your phone. And then whether you're on an Android, whether you're on a BlackBerry, an iPhone, it's going to walk you through how to install it. When you're asking yourself an app to have an app or to not have an app, I want to start with, is it going to the magazine experience for the readers? Is there something that they're telling us that they actually want, okay, from the experience? Is there something we can actually do from the experience in general? Then I want to think about, okay, selling this thing backwards. I want to start with the advertisers. I want to go to the web. I want to do some research, okay? Then can I just build it for free on my own? Or should I go and should I find an app provider? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to Google magazine app, okay, provider. And walk through, not now, we're not going to, but you would want to walk through and talk with at least 4 or 5, okay, companies that potentially do magazine apps, okay, that they actually do magazine app creation, okay, and maybe just Googling magazine apps may help as well. So, who are some of the bigger ones? Texterity, has got a big company that's got a Nextbook. You've got PageSuite. I mean, there's literally hundreds of companies out there that do these kind of things. But magazine app, creator or magazine app creation, usually a lot of the companies that do digital editions are the ones that will also, go and do apps as well. And so as you scroll down, you can see there's all kinds of companies. Here's Mag Plus, Net Magazine, Woodwing. There's a bunch of companies that are able to help you. Now, how much do you need to spend? Companies spend between $5,000 and $10,000. I've seen some companies spend $30,000. Do you need to do that? The answer is no. In most cases, the answer is no. But what you want to do is get 3 or 4 bids. You want to make sure that you have a non-disclosure agreement in place with the company before you start discussing your ideas, with them. But you want to make sure that you talk to 2 or 3 companies, and you want to get real comfortable. Here's something to ask them. Ask them all. Hey, about your support. Okay, tell me about your support. Very often you get involved with a vendor, and it's really, unfortunately, you just don't have a really good support and follow-up after the sale. Then I want you to ask them, give me the name of one of your magazine publishers you're currently working with, so we can actually go and we can talk. We can talk to them and find out, what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. All right. So the question about building an app is not one of these why not, just do it because everybody else is doing it. For me, what I want to do is I really want to find out and I want to look at apps that tend to make the most sense. Okay, not only to me, but also to my users. And what you're going to find is that you're going to find that, for example, here are horse magazines, okay, that are out there. So say you're in the equestrian space. I want to go and I want to look and see, okay, what are these folks doing? What are they doing that's the same? What are they doing that's potentially different? But more than that, I want to find out, okay, what are things that they're doing, but more importantly, what are they not doing? And I also then want to ask, okay, what are some things that my users actually want? As an example, maybe they don't want to read your content, but they want to see horses for sale that are available on your website. Do you need an app for that? Well, it's not a question of do you need one, but, can we use the appbuilder.com to be able to pull an RSS feed, our WordPress website, to feed that app, to drive more traffic to our website? A lot of you're not doing an app because you think it's expensive, so I've given you a solution to that. A lot of you are not doing an app because you really don't even know where to start. We've said that. A lot of you just need some help. And here's the thing I hear on a real regular basis. Ryan, I need help. Great. Where do we start? And what I'll usually say is, okay, tell me, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What do you see out there as revenue opportunities? And then tell me about your competition. Tell me about threats that are out there. Often, many publishers don't actually walk through a strategic plan each year, and they don't spend much time on that. And what you do very, very quickly and very easily is go through and look and see, hey, what is available that's out there? All right, one final example. You notice here is the Barrel Horse News Stallion Register. I think this is one of the coolest things that Morris Communications Cowboy Publishing Group has done. My wife actually has one of our horses in the Stallion Register. One of the neatest things they did, they allow you to download this app for free so you can actually research stallions. Okay, you can actually find and not only look at the stallions' ads, but you can go through and find research on these stallions if you're trying to have a baby horse. It's one of the neatest things done in a very, very long time. I think the reception of it has been really, really good. While I don't have necessarily any numbers for that, they offer it at a very, very low price of $4.99, and it takes the Stallion Register to the level. And that's what I want to encourage all of you to do is, as you're walking through these things and walking forward, is I really want you to think for a minute, what is it that we can do, to really take everything that we're doing to the next level, whether it's in sales training or whatever it is. You really want to be taking these things absolutely to the next level. Now, one of the things I want to share with you is I always put free videos up on the 360adsales.com website. Love for you to check that out. And please don't forget, if you need help with this, if you're trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to do? You're part of this experience because you have a relationship with Shweiki Media, and I'll always offer you a discount to be able to help you with that and walk you through some of this digital strategy. So again, thanks so much for stopping by today. I hope this has shed a little bit of light on the subject of apps. Love to talk to you more about it offline. Feel free to reach out to me and give me a call. And, of course, on behalf of Shweiki Media, I'm just absolutely thrilled for this partnership and really thrilled that you're able to join us for these webinars. Best of luck to you. Talk about apps. Again, anything I can do to help you, please reach out. And as you're thinking about apps, remember something. Start with your readers, and I think you're going to grow and build a great app from there. Take care, everybody, and best of luck.